You've been working out hard, sweat dripping, muscles burning, but here's the truth no one wants to admit. You might be getting stronger, or you might just be going in circles. Because if you're not tracking your progress the right way, you're training blind. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to measure real calisthenics progress using the smartest tools and easiest methods. Let's fix this now so your hard work finally pays off. Let's start with why tracking progress is so important. If you're not tracking your progress, it's really easy to lose motivation because you don't know if you are making any progress or not. You might feel like you're stuck doing the same workouts with no results. Or worse, you might be making progress but never realize it. Tracking helps you see every win, no matter how small. It shows you that your hard work is paying off, and it gives you clues on what you need to change when progress slows down. It's like having a roadmap that shows where you started and how far you've come. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you actually wrote down your reps or checked your form on video? Now, calisthenics isn't like lifting weights, where you just look at how much you can bench. Here, progress comes in different forms. You're looking at strength, how many reps you can do, and whether you're moving to harder versions of each exercise. You're measuring endurance, how long you can go without needing to rest. You're checking your form. Is your movement clean and controlled? You also want to look at your balance and body control, your mobility or flexibility, your body composition, like fat versus muscle, and how quickly you recover between workouts. All of these tell the full story. Now let's talk about the most important part of this entire journey, the actual metrics you should be tracking to know that you're making progress in calisthenics. These aren't just numbers on paper. They are signs that your body is adapting, growing, and getting better week after week. First, start with the basics, your reps and sets. This is the most obvious and easiest way to measure how much you're improving. For example, if you did 3 sets of 10 push-ups last week, try to hit 3 sets of 12 this week. Over time, this slow increase in reps adds up, and it clearly shows that your strength and endurance are building. Don't ignore this. It's the foundation of progress. But numbers alone don't tell the whole story. Another thing you want to track is something called progressive overload. This means making your workouts just a bit harder every time. If you started with knee push-ups, your next step could be regular push-ups, then archer push-ups, and maybe even one-arm push-ups down the line. Every time you reach a new level, write it down. That's real progress. That's proof that you're getting stronger, not just doing more. Then there's hold time, which is super important for static moves like planks, L-sits, and handstands. Try timing yourself every time you train a static move. If you can hold a plank for 20 seconds today and you manage 30 seconds next week, that's a clear win. Even adding 5 seconds to a hold shows that your muscles and your control are improving. Rest time is another important metric most people forget about. If you can reduce your rest time between sets, let's say from 90 seconds down to 60 seconds, but still keep up the same level of performance, it means your fitness level is getting better. So don't just track what you do during the set, also track what happens between them. Now this next one is harder to write down in a notebook. It's form and control. And honestly, this is where a lot of people mess up. Just because you can do 20 push-ups doesn't mean they're good push-ups. The best way to measure your form is to film yourself every few weeks. Compare your old clips with the new ones. Are your movements smoother? Is your core tighter? Are your legs wobbling less during a plank? These little things matter way more than you think, and they're a huge sign of growth. Let's also talk about skill progression. If you're working toward big moves like handstands, muscle-ups, or planches, it helps to break them down into smaller steps. That way, you can focus on one part at a time and slowly build up your strength and control until you're ready for the full move. Let's take the handstand, for example. Maybe you start by just holding it against the wall. Then you move on to doing kick-ups without support. Then you try to balance freely for a couple seconds. Eventually, you're holding a clean, freestanding handstand for 10 full seconds. That's the kind of progression that deserves to be tracked, because that's where most people feel the biggest breakthroughs. And lastly, if you care about how your body looks, not just how it performs, then you might want to keep an eye on your body composition. That could include your weight, your body fat percentage, or your muscle mass if you're using a smart scale. But remember, the scale doesn't always tell the full story. That's why I always recommend taking progress photos every 4 weeks. Just one photo from the front, one from the side, and one from the back. Over time, you'll start seeing the changes that the mirror doesn't always show day to day. Now let's see how to track progress. I know tracking sounds boring at first, but once you start seeing results on paper or in pictures, it gets addictive and you'll start enjoying the process. Now the best part is tracking calisthenics progress is easier than ever, thanks to some amazing tools. You can stick with old school methods or take advantage of some powerful tools to track your calisthenics calisthenics progress. If you enjoy writing things down, a simple notebook or journal still works really well. You can jot down the date, exercises you did, how many sets and reps, how long you held certain positions, and any notes on how your body felt during the workout. It's simple but effective. If you prefer something more organized, using Google Sheets or Excel is a great option. You can create a spreadsheet with columns for each exercise, the reps and sets you completed, hold times for static moves, skill levels, and any extra notes. Adding color codes can help you spot progress at a glance. For those who want digital convenience, there are some great fitness apps made just for calisthenics. The Thanks app offers structured training programs and lets you track reps, rest times, and skill progress, with tutorials for moves like handstands and muscle-ups. Mad Bars is another solid app, especially for bodyweight training. It logs workouts, gives detailed stats, and even shows progress graphs. The We Strive app is useful whether you're working alone or with a trainer, allowing you to monitor your goals and track your journey in one clean interface. If you like things lightweight and easy to use, apps like HeavySet for iOS or FitNotes for Android let you manually log your calisthenics workouts without any fuss. And if you're into wearable tech, many smartwatches now sync with fitness apps like Strava or Apple Fitness Plus, allowing you to track heart rate, workout time, and calories burned during bodyweight sessions. There are also AI-based tools now like PhysioGym AI that let you record your workouts and they'll actually tell you where your form is off. That's a huge help, especially for beginners. Another really powerful way to measure progress is through videos. It might feel awkward at first to record yourself working out, but trust me, it's worth it. When you look back at footage from a few weeks ago, you'll notice things you didn't see before, like how your form has improved or how your movements are smoother and more controlled. These small improvements are what really matter in calisthenics. So don't just rely on how you feel, use video as your mirror to reflect your real growth. Now I know some of you might be wondering how and when to test progress. One thing that helps a lot is doing a weekly or monthly check-in with yourself. Maybe every Sunday, you sit down and look at your training notes or app logs. Ask yourself how you're doing. Did you move forward? Did you stay the same? Were you more consistent? Did you feel stronger or more energetic this week? If not, what got in the way? This helps you stay honest with yourself. The most important thing that I really want to mention here is that your tracking will also depend on your current level. If you're a beginner, focus on clean form, better control, and doing more reps of basic moves. Don't rush into advanced stuff. Mastering the basics will take you further. If you're in the intermediate stage, then your progress will show up in more challenging variations like dips, archer push-ups, or tuck holds. If you're advanced, progress might slow down a bit, but it'll show up in skill holds like front levers, planches, one-arm push-ups, and freestanding handstands. At that point, even a few extra seconds of hold time is a big deal. Different goals need different tracking methods. If you're building muscle, focus on volume, tension, and muscle soreness after workouts. If you're trying to lose fat, keep an eye on body composition, calories burned, and endurance. If you're chasing a skill like the muscle up or planche, your progress shows in how close you are to holding the full movement. And if flexibility is your goal, track your range of motion monthly with mobility drills. And that's what this video was all about. If you are doing calisthenics at home, I've made a video where I have shared how you can transform any of your rooms into a calisthenics studio. If interested, watch this out next.